Welcome to another edition of the Insider Mailbag. I'm Jared Johnson. We have a bunch of really good questions this week, so I want to dive right into them. First one comes from Saddle Tramp, who asks, how long do I think it will take before Chris Beard self-destructs in Austin? He said, Tech should be so thankful he left and didn't sign that lifetime contract. Yeah, self-destruct. I tell you what, I thought he was on a path to self-destruction here in Lubbock. And, I reported that. Monty Joe and I made videos like this, whether it be in mailbags or hoop scoops or whatever. And I mentioned on the board that, he sounded different over the last couple of years. He just seemed annoyed, red-faced. He was acting out and doing all kinds of things like diving on the ground with the ref and, not with the ref, but, kind of intentionally getting thrown out that one time. And, some things weren't working out with players. And then things I was hearing about this last season, just things were just kind of, it seemed like they were blowing up. Now, that being said, it still was very scary about him leaving. You asked at the time, obviously everybody was freaking out that he was leaving. And I still expect him to have success at Texas. The guy is a winner. I know people don't want to hear that, but he won big here at Tech. I don't know how sustainable the way he does things is. So it may be something where he goes for 4 or 5 years and then leaves. Goes for, if that long. So by self-destruct, do you mean, like he won't have a good, like Billy Clyde Gillespie, that was self-destruction. I don't think it's going to be quite like that. But I do think it might be where after Texas, whenever that may be, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, that he'll probably need to take a season and take a step back and be like, okay, what am I doing? And is this sustainable? Is this what I want to do? And all that. So, do I think he'll have wild success at Texas? No. Do I think he'll have some success? Yeah, I do. I think he'll have some success at Texas. He can recruit. He is a good coach. So I just want to be honest with you about this. How long do I think? I'll say, he'll probably leave Texas within the next, by after 4 seasons. That's what I believe. Riding Fearless asks, he says, speaking of Chris Beard, he says, how we welcome Coach Beard when he returns to Lubbock has been a topic discussed on the board, and it has. He says he does not want any bad publicity for Tech, but he also wants it to be made clear to him, let's just say that he's not very well liked. He's not thought highly of by Raiderland. He says, any ideas how we as a fan base at the game should handle it? Yeah, I really hope, but if you don't, oh well, it is what it is. I hope we keep it classy, Lubbock and Raiderland. I understand the anger. I understand the feeling of betrayal. 100%. And also just the way Beard left. Ugh. I get it. I really do. But the self-righteous folks in Austin, and then just other fan bases are looking for another excuse to say, oh, look at the trash out there in Lubbock. When, man, I've been all over. I've covered teams at every level, from the lowest of high school all the way to the NBA. And, there are trashy fans everywhere. Let's put it that way. Lubbock fans and Lubbock people are salt to the earth now. Texas Tech fans love their Red Raiders. So they are passionate. I hope passion is there. I hope they're loud. I hope they let Beard know, let him know that, Tech didn't appreciate, Raiderland didn't appreciate the way he did it. And it's not right. It's not right. And, but I also hope nobody gets hurt. I hope nobody embarrasses the brand, as people like to say. And I hope there's a hint of fear, but no violence or nothing, out of bounds. Because the best crowds, doesn't matter whether it be a rock show, a wrestling match, a college basketball game, has that hint of fear, the mob, but nothing actually happens. So that's what I hope. I hope it's loud. I hope it helps Tech win. And I hope fans let him know they didn't appreciate the way they did him. That Beard did him. Next question comes from Tornado Watch, who says, do I believe Sonny Cumbie and Keith Patterson will be successful in their new roles of head coach at their respective schools? Of course, Sonny Cumbie is the head coach at Louisiana Tech, and Keith Patterson's now the head coach of Abilene Christian. Yeah, I do think they will be successful. Actually, I remember sitting in a press conference, I think it was after the Iowa State win, listening to Sonny Cumbie talk, not the post-game presser, but like the regular Tuesday presser between games. And just hearing him talk, the way he answered questions, the way he talked about his team, the way he accepted responsibility for failures, but the way he deflected praise towards his players and fellow coaches, the way he didn't dodge some tough questions, and the way the players responded to him. And it just hit me like, this guy's in his element. This isn't too big for Sonny Cumbie. He can be a head coach, not just a head coach, but a successful head coach. So, no, I think he'll do well at Louisiana Tech. He needs to, a lot depends on his staff and how they recruit and then stuff like that. But I think he can recruit. He's shown in the past he can. He has a very good personality. He has built a lot of relationships. He has a very good, name, reputation. So I think Sonny Cumbie will do very well. Now, Keith Patterson, it's a different kind of thing at Abilene Christian, but, Keith Patterson's really misunderstood, I think, in some ways. I think I was really impressed with the way the defense responded later in the season. They seem to understand the assignment under him. His players love him too. I just have to say, and they do. You talk to the players, the defensive players on that team, and they love Keith Patterson. They say something like, I would die for him. So, that's how much they like him. So, look, nobody was as frustrated as I was from the TCU game and the Texas game, the way some of the schemes they ran. But I tell you, when you interview him, he's interesting. He obviously knows football. He knows Texas, the state of Texas in terms of recruiting. So I think there's a chance that Keith Patterson could be successful. I feel more confident in saying Sonny Cumbie will be successful, but I like Keith Patterson. I really do. I didn't like some of those schemes. I understood why people wanted him gone, but it's different now as head coach, and I think he has potential. I do. Next question comes from OBX Raider. He said he was hoping we'd hear something on the offensive line recruits that are in the transfer portal since spring semester is getting ready to start up. He says, does that mean they're heading elsewhere? Well, Tech, it did get a couple of guys to the transfer portal, a couple of offensive linemen. So, it's not like it's been totally unsuccessful, but in terms of kind of guys still out there that, targets that I think you're hoping for, Mason Brooks is the guy from Western Kentucky. I do believe Coach Hamby, the offensive line coach, is still recruiting him, but I think he's probably heading to the SEC. He's looking at Mississippi State, I think Ole Miss, Auburn. Those are the schools that I'm hearing that are in the mix, but I did hear Hamby still recruiting him, so we'll see what happens there. Michael Shanahan. Sorry, I was thinking of his brother TJ Shanahan. I talked with TJ actually some, and he was on the visit or alongside his brother who was visiting Texas Tech here recently, and I know it went really well. So, Shanahan, though he's coming from the FCS level, look, when we saw with Josh Berger, that can be valuable. You can get guys in who can play, and Josh Berger played every position on the line and started a lot of games for you. So, I'm not saying Shanahan's as good as Berger or not, but it can. He has size. This staff obviously likes him. I had him for a visit, so he's still in play. Now, whether he ends up at Texas Tech or not, we'll have to see. But he's still in play, so it's not over. No. LB Mans asks, are you excited about baseball season? Which player are you most excited about? Yeah, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, just honestly. But am I excited about Texas Tech baseball? Yeah. Tim Tadlock's still the coach, so yeah. I know they're going to win a lot. They're going to field excellent talent. And he's going to make some kind of adjustment in the middle of the season where we're like, what? And it'll be like the reason why it propels them, if not at least to the Super Regional, maybe to College World Series. That's just Tim Tadlock really is the maestro in that regard, making some kind of, whether it be a pitching assignment or a position change you wouldn't think of. And to answer your second question, which player am I most excited about? The lineup, I didn't say Jace Young. He's All-American, future pro player for sure. So, but there are some other guys. I mean, Easton Morrell, I like to see him, in bat. Cole Stillwell, Parker Kelly, all those guys coming back, And then another guy, I can't help it, because his older brother was one of my favorite players, is Trevor Conley. Cal Conley's little brother. He's a freshman at Tech this year. So Cal Conley, I mean, just athletically and all around, was one of the more exciting players to watch. So if Trevor Conley is close to that, then man, they're getting a heck of a baseball player. So yeah, I always appreciate excellence. I have nothing but respect for Tim Tadlock, just as a coach, what he's built here, how he carries himself, what he does for Texas Tech. I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better baseball coach. I mean, whatever he wants, I hope he's getting in terms of his salary and everything. Just a huge fan, so I'm very excited about baseball season. I'm going to go as a fan a bunch. I'm going to take my boy. It's going to be fun. Of course, I'll be talking about it. We'll be covering him, but yeah, I'm very excited about Texas Tech baseball. 78 Tech asked if I am aware of any communication between Coach Matt Wells and Coach Joey McGuire. And he says, such as a courtesy call. No, I don't. No, I'm not aware. I'm unaware of that. I've talked with both of them, but I didn't ask them that, and honestly, I didn't think to. I don't know if that's a thing. I've never heard of that. Maybe it happens. I don't know. And he wants to know when was my last conversation with Coach Matt Wells. Yeah, it was in December. It was before Christmas. We exchanged some texts. Matt Wells is a friend of mine. I mean, he is. We're friends. He was there for me when my family was having tough times and beyond, and some of the things he did for my son, I will never forget. And he'll always be a good friend of our family. I actually had a colleague, an associate in the 24/7 Sports Network asked me to reach out and see if Coach Wells was actually hearing from their school, because they had a coaching position open, and they were hearing that he was high up on the list, and obviously with him having just been here, they wanted to see if I had any contact with him. So I was really hesitant to do this because I don't want to get in the man's business that way. I didn't want to violate any trust or friendship we had, but because this is just different, it's his career and all that, and it's not like calling about hey, is this quarterback really hurt, or how are you playing this, or what's going on? It's not like that. This is a different deal. But I did it. I hit him up, and I with the preface, hey, I'm sorry if I'm offending you or anything, and he was like, nah, you're not offending me. We're not between friends like that. And bottom line is, he hadn't actually heard from that school at that point, which was funny to me. He was up for multiple positions, but I think Coach Wells still wants to be a head coach. I think he could be a good head coach. I think he did a lot of good things here at Texas Tech. I think he was the bridge this program needed between Kingsbury, who was not a good head coach here. I like the man, but he's not a good head coach. He buried this program, but and Coach McGuire, who I think is going to kick butt. I think he's going to do a great job. I think Coach Wells set the foundation for what Coach McGuire is going to be able to do. Now, he did a lot of things wrong. I think he'd be the first to tell you, but he did a lot of things right, and I think Coach Wells, if given another opportunity, could do some really good things. And just perhaps it wasn't a very good fit here, and in a lot of ways, a lot of people weren't ever going to accept him just from the get. And that's fine too. That's well within your right as a fan or whatever position you hold. So, yeah, I hope to continue to communicate on some level with Coach Wells, moving forward for sure. Panther Cat said, snow and cold finally drove me out of Guadalupe National Park after 5 nights. Good hiking though. What do we think of hiking? Well, I like beautiful scenery. You actually mentioned that you were in the Fort Davis or in the Davis Mountains for a couple of days. I have a best friend who lives down there, and he is like a brother. He was actually my freshman roommate at Tech, and my buddy Matt, and he has a house down there and his family, and I love it. It's one of the most beautiful places to see the stars. The mountains are breathtaking. It's another part of Texas. It's one of the last parts of Texas that I had seen, that I hadn't seen. I've grown up in Dallas, being born in Houston. Of course, done all the hill country all over. And then I lived in the valley lived and worked in the valley for 6 years. I hadn't really, and I've been to El Paso and stuff like that. I had never been down in that area around the Davis Mountains. So that was really fun to go see how beautiful it is. And it's like a different planet, just like everything. I mean, West Texas and the Valley couldn't be more, it's like Mars and Jupiter. I mean, it really is like, couldn't be more different. And the same goes for North Texas and Houston and on and on. So I love Texas. I love the state. I hope I live here my entire life. And hiking in those mountains is a lot of fun. I think there comes a point where I'm like, man, can we just go get a beer? I think I get like that at some point. Man, I know you can take the beer with you or whatever, but I'm just saying at some point I'm like, all right, I've seen it. Let's go do something else. Let's go post up somewhere where we have a great view, you know. But hey, you know, see some great wildlife there. I guess it depends on where you hike and how cold it is or hot or whatever. All that stuff factors in for me. But I like hiking. I wouldn't say I love it. At some point, I'm ready to go kick back, if I'm being honest about it. All right, final question comes. He's actually my producer on our radio show. I guess he told me he's going to want to ask this. Radio PD, he's also Sean Dillon. He says, since you've been on a workout kick, what's your daily rotation for working out and how much weight are you banging and clanging? Yeah, you know, first off, and I don't want to sound like a jerk when I say this, but I'm not on a workout kick. I've made a lifestyle change. Before working here, I worked a lot, and to the point where I worked myself into like health problems, this sedentary lifestyle. There wasn't balance. I needed balance, and this was actually right before COVID hit. Messed up my shoulder just from like, I know a lot of you who work like in cubicles or whatever at a desk for a long time, like just sitting a certain way. Like I do these like 8-hour blocks where I barely even eat or do anything, you know, where I just churn out the content as much as I could. Some of y'all might think I should probably get back to that, but it jacked up my neck and my back, and I got fat and just unhealthy. It was going to kill me, you know. I went to a chiropractor who just at least helped me understand what was going on with me. They did a good job with that. Like, okay, this is what's happening. And so I realized, you know, I got to start like walking and doing stuff. And then I got into it and was like, man, I want to see what I could do lifting. I'm tired of just like walking and running or whatever. And, you know, I want to do more than just get in shape. I want to see what I can do, you know? So I decided I was going to give myself until February. I was going to give myself a year to see what results I get. And then my wife got sick, and we were in the hospital for a couple months. And so obviously I wasn't working out during that. But then after she passed away, and I decided to go on. Working out became not just physically something good for me, but also spiritually, mentally. I mean, it's my base of power and sanity, to be honest. And my routine actually just started something new. It's 4 days. I wasn't doing leg day. I was looking like, you know, chicken legs, you know. So I basically just, instead of doing one body part each day, I do more of like a universal thing. And so you asked, so I'm going to tell you, this is my, I have 4 different days where I rotate. I work out, it just depends. Sometimes I'll work out 7 days in a row. Sometimes I only get 4 or 5 times a week. Like here the last couple of days, I've worked out twice in the last 5 days. So I'm really like mentally flogging myself. And I want to work out. I feel better. I'm in a better mood. Physically, I feel better. When I don't work out, I don't feel near as good. So it's normally just how much time there is in a day, and what I have going on. But so day 1, I do bench press. I do 4 sets of everything, and then standing flies. But I superset that certain weights. Try and shock and really beat up my muscles on the first weight, so it's heavy, and then it tapers down. But I do more reps as the weight gets less, so that you know, I start to fail. You know, I can't do it certainly by the 3rd set, and that's where the muscle gets, you know, broken down, so you can build it back up. But just to go through it: bench press, standing flies, sitting curls, standing pull-ups, and then goblet squats is day 1, and then I do a 25-minute treadmill, inverted, inclined. With interval jogging. I'm not running like this is from a T-Rex or the cops or something. Something scary. I'm too old to run. a lot. Day 2 is standing rows, laying flies, Arnold press, standing curls, and dumbbell clean, which that really kicks my butt. Day 3 is incline bench, bent over flies, renegade rows, which is I actually like that. It's hard. Standing front lifts. It's like a shoulder workout. Farmer's walk, which I really love. That's a great way to end a workout. And then day 4 is inverted bench, close grip behind back extensions, standing press side flies, shoulder shrugs, and dumbbell lunge. Which, I think some people out there, if you work out heavily, you'll hear that and you'll have critiques about my workout, and which is totally understandable. And I'll take all the help I can get. But what I've finally come to realize is just do something. That's what my dad said. He's been a health nut for 30 some odd years, whatever, and works out and is just crazy about his diet and his workout and all that. But just do it. He said Nike had it right, with that slogan. Just do something where you're working on your body, you're not living that sedentary life, and you're going to get a great benefit out of it. So I'm trying to do, and I hope everybody out there does it too, because, it's so easy nowadays just to sit around and do nothing and stuff yourself with all this food and just get fat. And it's just, this is a better way of living, of not living like that. So I think if everybody lifted, they'd be much happier. It's spiritual too, and good for mental health. I think about all the things going on in my life and people I could help and my family and all that stuff when I do it, especially like on the treadmill. When I'm lifting, I try and focus on the muscles, but all that, the workout and what I'm actually doing, and making sure I'm doing it right, because it's all about control. So. And the weight, I'm doing more weight than I was. I'm definitely much stronger than when I started, but I wouldn't say I'm all that. With all my weight, am I stronger than most people? Yeah. But pound for pound, I wouldn't say I'm the strongest guy. I'm not here, how much do you bench, bro? I'm not one of those guys. Just get out there and do it. That's what you need to do. It's not about how heavy. It's control. It's your muscles almost failing to where you're actually breaking them down. It's about eating right, getting enough rest, all that stuff, so that your body can recover and muscles actually grow. So that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just be mentally and physically healthier, for the people that care about me. So like my son, because he already lost a mom, he doesn't need to lose a dad anytime soon. So I'm trying to do the best to keep it that way. So anyways, man, great questions from everyone as always. Touch football, basketball, recruiting, working out, hiking in the mountains, all kinds of stuff. But hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and until next time.